Good morning, everyone. I'm glad to call this meeting of the Texas Lottery Commission to order. Today is August the 17th. It is 10:01. All commissioners are here. We'll start with the pledge of the U.S. and Texas flags. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag.
I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay. Grateful for everyone being here. I know we have a lot of energy in the room, and that's always a good thing. So thank you, everyone, for being here, those who came short distances and far. The first item is a presentation by the National Medal of Honor Museum Foundation. Angela and Ryan, this is your item.
Good morning, commissioners. For the record, my name is Angela Skyby-Sagarba, the Director of Administration. Item 2 in your note is a briefing item. In the June 21st meeting, I provided a briefing of staff's intent to enter into a promotional and sponsorship agreement with the National Medal of Honor Museum Foundation. Today, I have Ryan Mendel, our Deputy Executive Director, joining me, as well as Chris Cassidy and Corey Crowley, to have additional information on the museum. Ryan, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks, Angela. Good morning, Chairman and Commissioners. For the record, my name is Ryan Mendel. I'm the Deputy Executive Director. Angela mentioned, and you have previously approved, we will be entering into a promotional and sponsorship agreement with the National Medal of Honor Museum. I've been fortunate enough to tour the museum site twice now, both recently with the chairman. As you know, the site what they're building is just incredible. This partnership is so perfect for us at the Texas Lottery because the museum's mission is so aligned with our beneficiaries. Between the obvious connection with highlighting veterans as compared to the great support we provide for the veterans, the museum is also building an educational institute. So again, their twin missions of veterans and education align so well with what we do here at the lottery. Our partnership is going to provide multiple benefits: social media posts, signage. Texas Lottery is even sponsoring discounted tickets to the museum for all Texas veterans with free admission for Texas active duty military. With how great this partnership will be, we thought it would be beneficial to have representatives from the museum here to provide some more information. So with that, I'll introduce Corey Crowley, who's the Executive Vice President of Development and External Affairs at the National Medal of Honor Museum. In his current role, Corey oversees all internal and external messaging, public affairs, community relations, government relations, and branding. He's also founded and consulted for several successful startups. And Corey had helped lead the effort to recover and restore the historic USS Iowa battleship, turning into a successful maritime museum anchored in San Pedro, California. Last, but certainly not least, is Captain Chris Cassidy. He's the National Medal of Honor Museum's Foundation's president and CEO. Chris is a graduate of the United States Naval Academy and MIT. He has distinguished himself as a Navy SEAL and captain in the U.S. Navy, serving 11 years, as well as spending 17 years as a NASA astronaut, with 3 missions and over 377 days in space. Chris is one of 3 Navy SEALs to go on to become an astronaut. With that, I'll turn it over to him.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. We really sincerely appreciate your time and your partnership, and thank you for allowing us to have a few moments to tell you about our project. We couldn't be more excited and proud to deliver a national museum to right here in Texas. It'll be in the center of the DFW Metroplex in Arlington, the entertainment district, and some folks are in the building here are aware of the process by which it arrived in Texas. A national competition, ultimately, originally around 20 cities. It got down to between Denver and Arlington in the final throws, and for all good reasons, Texas won. The center of this country, the center of the Metroplex, a large airport, sports stadiums, Cowboys, Rangers, old and new stadium, Six Flags, and all the reasons that everyone here in this room is so familiar with, why Texas is a great place for veterans to do their work and to plant the flag. So for that, we are about a 25-person foundation. So excited to deliver this. We're about halfway through our construction of the building. Come by and see us anytime up in Arlington. We started March 25th of 22 last year. That incidentally, March 25th is Medal of Honor Day in our nation every single year. And in 2025, March, we'll have our grand opening. So we're about halfway through the build cycle. The project itself is really threefold. It was a little bit mentioned in the introduction. The physical bricks and mortar museum, which I'll talk about that in a second. The second leg is our National Medal of Honor Griffin Institute, Leadership Institute. And we're really excited about how that can impact the nation. The museum will be our avenue through which people that can come and visit in person can be inspired through the stories of Medal of Honor recipients. But it's really, how do we give this motivation, inspiration, and patriotism to everyone in the nation? And that's where the Institute will take its effect. We'll have a center for youth, where we call it Center for Character Excellence, and a center for adults, both of which those centers are delivering content right now. We've partnered with the NFL and are delivering an online program to school districts, 29,000 of them, because of the NFL's existing character playbook program. We have that partnership will be in classrooms this school year. So we're excited about that. A couple of months ago in March, we had our first in-person adult program, 25 participants from industries around a variety of industries and folks from around the country. 4 days they came to Arlington, and we had 3 different Medal of Honor recipients there, professionally run curriculum, which we received a lot of fantastic feedback, and we'll deliver the second of those programs in October, just a couple months from now. So those are the first 2 legs. And the third leg is, one of the things that we're often asked is, wait a minute, this is a national project. Why the heck isn't it in Washington, D.C.? Well, our answer to that is a monument. We'll be delivering a monument on the National Mall. And Corey can talk about the legislative process, because he's been really the heavy load carrier for that. But we're proud to say that this project is very unifying in its nature, because in 2021, we were approved 416 to 0 and 100 to 0 in the Senate, 416 to 0 in the House of Representatives, to be authorized to build a monument for Medal of Honor recipients. We're working through the process right now to identify the exact plot of land on our nation's capital, and the verbiage has it within 1,000 feet of the Lincoln Memorial, which we think is very fitting, because President Lincoln is the president who put the medal into existence in 1861. Since that time, there's been 3,516 awards of the medal, and 65 of those people are living today. And so that's why we're working very hard to get this thing built as fast as we can, because we're all not getting any younger, neither are the Medal of Honor recipients. So we want as many of those 65 to walk through the doors with us and celebrate this construction project. On a personal level, I served in the military for 28 years, and I loved every bit of it. I was able to do a lot of cool things in the SEAL teams and at NASA. I've been a Texas resident for about 20 years. Sorry, most of that was in Houston, but that time in uniform was so meaningful to me. And as I was hanging that uniform up, the opportunity was offered to me to come be part of this project. And I had never thought about nonprofit work when I was in the transition process, kind of thinking I would work at SpaceX or some other aerospace company. But as soon as I learned that this was an opportunity that I didn't even know the museum was being built, it immediately filled the void of how am I going to get that feeling of serving the country? And that's what we feel. We're working hard to deliver something to the country. It just so happens to be that Texas is the holder of the keys, but it's a national project. So with that, I'd like to introduce and hand it over to Corey. Corey and I tag team our leadership on this project, and he's been really instrumental in the whole process. So Corey.
Yeah, maybe just a few additional notes to what Chris said about the project at a macro level a bit. You know, a lot of people think of the Medal of Honor, you think of the acts of valor that led these individuals to earn the medal and to receive it from our country. But what it really is about is values. And this museum isn't a museum to war. It's a museum to common individuals who took those values, put them into practice, and then used them to do uncommon things. And what we want to do is inspire every visitor to do those same things, to put those acts of values to work in their own lives, their communities, their families, their schools. And that's what this partnership with the Texas Lottery is going to allow us to do. Bring more students into the museum, make the barrier to entry for them getting there low, and be sure that the veterans who are part of those 40 million who stood next to the fewer than 4,000 who received the medal, but that they're also able to be celebrated and thanked for their role in all of this as well. So that's what we're trying to do. As Chris mentioned, we'll be open in March of 2025, and you can come and see the construction site prior to that. We'd love to have you. But certainly when the doors are open, it will be a beacon for the country that Texas has led the way on. And of those 65 living Medal of Honor recipients, 10 of them are Texans. So you've got 1/6 of all the living legacies that we're doing this project for and that we're trying to preserve for the country right here in the state. So thank you very much for this partnership and for your time.
Thank you. Commissioners, do you have any thoughts, comments, please? Any?
I think, Commissioner or Chairman, we do have a video as we close out. We're blessed to have 4 former commanders-in-chief as honorary chairs of this project. And they're all very involved and engaged. It's bipartisan, as Chris mentioned, a completely national unifying project. And you can also see a little bit of the building and what it will look like in this video as well.
The Medal of Honor is awarded for bravery in combat to those who go above and beyond the call of duty.
Risking their lives to save others, overcoming incredible odds, often making the ultimate sacrifice.
We salute these extraordinary Americans. We will always be inspired by their heroism.
When you look at the Medal of Honor recipient, you're looking at someone who has demonstrated gallantry under impossible odds. You're looking at someone who's placed duty above self. You're looking at someone who understands the meaning of sacrifice in the most profound way. And you're looking at a person of integrity, fortitude, and patriotism. You're looking at honor. And these values must be preserved, protected, and passed on to future generations. And that is why the National Medal of Honor Museum is so important.
This museum is a monument to the very best of our country. The idea that as America is timeless, and the valor it takes to protect and defend this experiment in liberty, that too will live forever, right here in this museum.
We mark a milestone moment on this historic mission to inspire America. This place, the National Medal of Honor Museum.
A greeting to a historical moment in the life of our country and in the life of the Medal of Honor recipients.
We know that what we did to earn the medal is less important than what we do with it. It does not make us special, but it does allow us to do special things. And there is nothing we have ever done that's more special than this museum.
This place will commemorate and preserve the stories of selfless service and sacrifice.
Let's all come together to build a museum in their honor.
The National Medal of Honor Museum.
On a mission to inspire America.
Wow, that is incredibly powerful. We at the Lottery are sincerely honored to be a part of your goals, your mission, the early, literally laying of the ground, the concrete, and building forward as y'all go vertical. And it's a partnership that the Lottery is serious about. It's one that we're grateful for, and we have nothing but open field ahead. We are equally excited about both of your involvement in what y'all bring to the table, all of your amazing and awesome accomplishments that have brought us to today, but really the two of you leading the effort of the museum has nothing but open field ahead. And we're excited about all of the future progress, future ribbon cuttings, and all of the other things that we're going to be doing together in the future. So with that, I'll turn it over to Gary. We're good. So I know that all of our commissioners would like a photo with y'all both, and we'll take a 5-minute break here. And if anyone wants to come up and take photos or, shake an astronaut's hand or visit with Corey, anything else, we'll take a few minutes to do so. So with that, we'll be in a quick here adjournment. We are officially back in session. It is 10:27 a.m. Central Standard Time. All righty. Next item is a report from the Bingo Advisory Committee. Trace, your item.
Wow, I got to follow that. Tall order. All right. Good morning, Commissioners, Chairman, and Commissioner Fields. Thank y'all for letting me speak again today. Yesterday, the Bingo Advisory Committee met and discussed a few items. Most importantly, the Bingo Advisory Committee developed and approved their annual report to be submitted to you, which I will read to you now. Section 2001.060 Government Code requires an annual charitable bingo report by the Texas Lottery Commission to the Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Speaker of the House, and the Legislature. 16 TAC 402.106N requires an annual report by the Bingo Advisory Committee to the Commission. Although the statute and the rule contain slightly different elements, this report provides the Commission with the information required by both the statute and the rule and additional information so that it is comprehensive. This report uses data provided by the Charitable Bingo Division. This data may not have been audited yet. Statute uses the term net proceeds, while the rule uses the term net receipts. For the purposes of this report, the terms are synonymous. Gross receipts. Gross receipts fell slightly in 2022 after a significant bounce back in 2021. Calendar year 2022 saw $894 million in gross receipts versus $938.4 million in gross receipts in 2021. This 5% drop year over year was to be expected after the 2020 pandemic low of $696.8 million. The 2022 calendar year gross receipts are in line or slightly above gross receipts for years prior to the pandemic. Pull-tab sales continue to drive overall sales. Supply chain issues are largely disappearing, but the diversity of pull-tab products has declined as manufacturers seek to consolidate product lines and cut costs. Adjusted gross receipts. The term adjusted gross receipts is defined as the amount remaining after prizes are paid. At $197 million, AGR also dropped slightly in the 2022 year. That is an 8% drop from the $214.2 million recorded in 2021 and a 29% increase over $152.5 million in 2020. Yet again, it is in line with the years prior to the pandemic. Net proceeds or net receipts. Overall net proceeds to charities, which is the amount of money retained by the charity conductors of bingo after payment of all expenses, declined in 2022. At $28.5 million, that's nearly 37% lower than the historical high of $45.4 million in 2021. However, a 3-year average using 2020 to 2022 data is almost $32 million. This includes the historical pandemic low in 2020 of $21.9 million. 2021's historical bounce back, $35.4 million, and 2022 near return to normal at $28.5 million. The 3-year average is comparable to pre-pandemic annual net proceeds. Net proceeds were 14.5% of adjusted gross receipts in 2022 compared to 14.3% in 2020 and 21.2% in 2021. Charitable distributions. The Bingo Enabling Act requires charity conductors to distribute for charitable purposes all net proceeds that exceed the maximum capital reserve allowed by the Act. Some organizations chose to maintain capital reserves lower than allowed and distribute net proceeds beyond what may be statutorily required. Maintaining a capital reserve is fundamental to the business. This explains the difference in net proceeds to charitable distributions to the charities. Charitable distributions for 2022 were $27.9 million compared to $20.8 million in 2020 and then $40 million in 2020. Expenses. Aggregate expenses held the line in 2022 at $168.5 million compared to $168.8 million in 2021. Attendance. At 10.1 million people, attendance declined nearly 10% compared to 11.1 million in the 2021 calendar year. This is a 44% decline since 2007, which was 17.9 million. This steady decline remains the biggest threat to charitable bingo. We're hopeful that recent legislative changes, which allow for a new prize structure and more temporary sessions, will provide charity conductors with additional tools to stem the attendance decline. As we've noted in the past, research indicates a general lack of awareness is a key challenge for charitable bingo. Bingo is not top of mind compared to other entertainment options. Private sector digital advertising conducted last year showed promising returns on investment. However, those initiatives have not achieved the scale needed to slow or reverse attendance declines. Providing feedback. The BAC has successfully provided feedback and comments to the charitable bingo operations staff and commissioners on all administrative rules and amendments. Website review. The BAC is still currently reviewing and collecting data to report its recommendations to the staff and the commissioners. Reporting. The BAC successfully reported to the commission updates on the BAC's activities, industry accomplishments, challenges, and concerns. Annual report. BAC has submitted the required annual report to the commission and to the Charitable Bingo Operations Division's director, including comment. By most all metrics, charitable bingo returned to near normal historical norms in 2022. A dip in AGR for charities is always something to keep an eye on. After all, charitable benefits are the reason for being. Yet, charitable bingo remains a niche entertainment and gaming option. We will closely monitor implementation of Senate Bill 643's changes with hopes that the tools and flexibility it provides will help charity conductors retain existing customers and attract new ones. The Bingo Advisory Committee remains committed to working with the commissioners and the Charitable Bingo Division staff to advise and respond to the issues that arise this year and those to come. We particularly want to thank the Lottery and Bingo Division staff for their work during this past legislative session. We appreciate the commission giving this important forum, and we are prepared to respond to any requests you have of us. We respectfully request that the commissioners vote to reinstate the Bingo Advisory Committee for a one-year period. That concludes that report.
Okay, Grace, thank you. Before I open it up to our other commissioners, I'll ask Cindy your thoughts, if any.
The bingo advisory, I don't know if that's on here now. Thank you for your leadership, by the way. And thank all of you for everything that you do for charitable bingo. The Bingo Advisory Committee continues to fulfill its purpose to advise the commission on the needs and problems of the state's bingo industry. So because of that, I move that the commission approve continuing the BAC for fiscal year 2024 with the same members, who are you, Trace Smith, bingo conductor, Stacy D. Johnson, our newest member, bingo conductor, Melody Green, commercial lessor, Boyne, I hope I said that right, bingo manufacturer, Tommy Duncan Jr., bingo distributor, Jason Pohl, bingo conductor, Veronica Uriegas, charity lessor, Corey Harris, bingo conductor, and Michael Anastasio, charity lessor. And also approve the work plan for fiscal year 2024, including the following items, which you all have also approved at the BAC.
Yes, ma'am.
Encourage industry licensees and stakeholders to provide feedback and comments during the legislative sunset review of the Texas Lottery Commission and CBOD, and provide comments to the commission regarding the agency's sunset review. Provide feedback and comments on rulemaking related to the implementation of SB 643. Identify other potential rule or procedural changes that help organizations address challenges related to conducting charitable bingo. Any potential recommendations on changes to how bingo games are played shall be clearly authorized by Texas law and will not include electronic bingo, including electronic pull tabs or any other activities not authorized by law, or video confirmation of paper pull tabs. Provide feedback and comments to CBOD staff and commissioners on changes to administrative rules in Chapter 402 and any other new additional amendments. Work with CBOD staff to identify ways to increase filing of quarterly reports and other forms and making payment of prize fees using the online filing system. Review components of the agency's charitable bingo website, including the listing of BAC members, and recommend elements and information included in future website updates. Provide reports at each commission meeting that include status updates of the BAC's activities, industry challenges or concerns, and develop the required BAC annual report to the commission on the state of charitable bingo industry and submit to the commission and to the charitable bingo director by July 12, 2024.
Commissioners, I believe that Mr. Breslin would like to address the board before you all vote on that.
Thank you very much. You would think a lobbyist would know to keep his mouth shut. Votes are there. But I do want to say thank you very much, particularly Commissioner Fields, for the time and attention you've paid to the industry in general and the Bingo Advisory Committee, and to LaDonna and Tyler and the rest of the staff. BAC is a great way for us to communicate back with other parts of the industry. With the new legislation, it's given us a way to spread a message that needs to be spread about some of the new things. So thank you very much. I appreciate your support, and hope that you'll keep the BAC going for another couple of years or another year. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. Okay. Cindy, anything else you wanted to say after Steve's comments? Okay. Commissioners, any comments? Okay.
I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
The only other thing on my report today is that BAC is losing a veteran member of the committee. Emile Burgoyne is retiring at the end of December. He is going to be celebrating some time with his family that he says is much needed. We will surely miss him, but I was asked to please ask you to please let LaDonna and her staff start the application selection process to replace Emile coming in December.
Okay, thank you for that. So LaDonna, you've heard that, so it's okay. You know, regarding the BAC, clearly it's an important part of bingo. It's a part of, clearly something that the commission feels with Cindy's leadership that should continue on, for at least another year. We know that this matter can be a little delicate, and so Trace, I appreciate all the work that you do for charitable bingo across the state. All of our commissioners are grateful for providing that level of expertise that you bring every time that you address this body. So thank you for that.
Appreciate that.
So with that, commissioners, are there any other items to discuss on this matter? Is there a motion? Is there?
I made a motion.
Okay, is there a motion? Okay. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Okay. Next item is lottery rule proposal. Tyler, this is your item.
Morning, Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Tyler Vance, Assistant General Counsel, Legal Services Division. I have for your consideration today proposed amendments to lottery rules 401-152, 401-302, 401-362, and 401-370. It's a bit of a variety pack today. The first one to 401-152 will define the term director to mean applicable as the lottery operations director to resolve any ambiguity that's not the executive director. The proposed amendments to 401-302 eliminate a redundant word. The proposed amendments to 401-362 provide for an additional option to document lottery tickets that were destroyed by fire. And it also eliminates the $25 administrative fee for packs of unactivated tickets that are unsaleable due to the damage of a fire. And the proposed amendments to 401-370 also eliminate the $25 fee for destruction and clarify that the report of the lost tickets goes through the Commission's Enforcement Division Lottery Operator Hotline. Staff recommends that you propose these amendments so that we can publish them in the Texas Register and open them up for public comment. And I'm available for any questions.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, any questions? No? Okay, is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. Next item is report on lottery sales and revenue. Kelly and Robert, your item.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kelly Reese, Controller for the agency. Doing things just a little different since today's my last day. I'll be retiring. I wanted to bring up Annika Quinero. She is going to be acting controller for the agency in the interim while we find my replacement. Annika has been with the agency since 2006, 17 years in the Office of Controller. She's been recently was promoted to Financial Operations Manager when I was promoted to Controller. So I'm confident that she will represent the agency and the OC team in the interim, and I'm very proud of her to have her take this place. So, so then I'll let Robert say introductions for.
I'm sure this will be the first of many presentations Will is going to be asked to deliver about the various successes that we have had here in Texas. Being directly involved in all things related to our product portfolio and our sales is something that I've been focused on for well over 20 years. And while I am in a different role now, my focus on that area of our business has not decreased. I'll always be available to you all if you ever need any information. And if you don't have me, I may even make a guest appearance during this agenda item himself. I know Will's going to do a great job telling you about the agency sales and our special product offerings. And if you don't have any questions for me at this time, I will hand the baton over and Kelly and Will deliver the sales information for you starting today. Thank you.
So, getting to the sales presentation, Will and I will provide an update on sales to the week ending August 5th. So, looking at the first slide here, you'll see that through this 49-week period, we had total sales for fiscal year 23 of $8,154 million. That's an increase of over $388 million, or 5% over fiscal year 22 sales of $7,765 million sales up to this point. The Then looking at spark sales, our 23 sales on the second orange bar on the right are $6,290,000,000. And that is a 0.1% increase over fiscal year 22 or $7.5 million. Due to our strong draw sales this fiscal year, our spark sales are making up currently 77.1% of our total sales compared to last year. We were at 80.9%. Then looking at draw sales on those blue bars on the right, this fiscal year 23, showing draw sales of $1,864,000,000. That's a $281 million increase, for a 25.7% over fiscal year 22 sales of $1,483,000,000. And I will go to the next slide and go into the details by data.
Thanks, Kelly. Thank you, Robert, for that very nice introduction. Morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners. As Robert mentioned, I'm here to give a further update on our sales. Like Kelly said, the slide you see represents our sales through Saturday, August 5th. And like Robert reported at the last meeting in June, this is all still really good news. Our draw game sales are up about 381 million. You can see that in the orange line towards the bottom of the slide. The theme that we've talked about at our meeting throughout this entire fiscal remains the same, and that is jackpots. Since the last meeting, we've had two more impressive runs on the national ratings. Powerball reached a $1 billion jackpot for the July 19th drawing, and you can see the year-over-year increase of 162 million in the last column. Mega Millions on to 1.58 billion for the August 8th drawing. On that game, we're realizing an increase of 87 million. Even the add-on features for the jackpot games have yielded impressive results. Lotto Extra, Mega Fire, and Power Play are all up significantly. The blue font in the middle of the slide represents our daily games. Pick 3 is the only game that's down, but the rest of the daily games make up for that, and we're up almost 4 million. In conclusion, for these draw games, Lucky Pad the jackpot is the biggest reason for our 381 million.
Good job.
Thank you so much.
Yes, good job. Okay, next item is the operating budget for year 2024. Kelly?
I think we have a transfer item before that. And then,
Okay.
if that's okay.
Sure.
So item 6, Commissioners, the report in your notebook is the agency's accrued revenue transfers and allocations to the state. 10-month period ending in June and reflects a 1.73 billion transfer. However, just last Friday, we completed our July transfer. So I wanted to go ahead and give you those more up-to-date numbers. For this 11-month period, we've transferred $1,951,000,000, with $186 billion to the Foundation School Fund, $23.6 to the Texas Veterans Commission, and the remaining $66.7 million from unclaimed prizes. So for the Foundation School Fund, this is an 8.2% increase, or $140.7 million when compared to the first 11 months of 22. And then the second half of this item is the fiscal year 23 method of finance summary for the third quarter ending May 31. In summary, the Commission's lottery account budget for 23 is $260.2 million. Of this amount, 89.8% has been expended or encumbered through the third quarter. And Bingo Administration's budget funded by GR is $2.1 million, with 87% expended and encumbered through the third quarter. So this concludes this item.
Okay.
And I'll move to the operating budget item. So for this item, I'll be seeking your approval for the fiscal year 24 operating budget in the amount of $322,902,826, with 318.5 full-time positions. The budget was developed in accordance with the appropriation amounts outlined in House Bill 1 and adjusted for Rider and Article 9 funding provisions. I'm also seeking your approval to modify the annual salary of the Executive Director effective September 1, 2023 to the maximum amount allowed of $225,284 as outlined in Article 7 of House Bill 1 adopted by the 88 legislature. This salary amount has been incorporated into this 24 operating budget consistent with the House bill and contingent upon your approval. As usual, this initial draft of the budget was developed by the Office of Controller, delivered to Division Management for their direct input, and then the final draft was developed receiving feedback from the divisions and then reviewed by Executive Management. This concludes my presentation. Do you have any questions?
Okay. Commissioners, any discussion? Okay. Is there a motion to approve the operating budget for fiscal year 2024?
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Motion passes. Kelly, we are incredibly grateful for your service and just all of the years that you've brought of expertise to the lottery. You know, today being your final time to come and present and, you know, guide us through your items, having, you know, that next, you know, leadership individual that you, to your point, you know, help to mentor is really, I think, you know, just a testament to the work that you've done. And that although you won't be here physically, you know, your expertise will remain. And it's something that will be here with, you know, everyone that you worked with, and just so you'll still be here, even though physically you'll be enjoying, you know, your retirement. So congratulations on behalf of all of the commissioners for everything that you've done for Texas Lottery and for this.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
And with that, Gary has something also he'd like to say.
Oh, yes, I do. So, Commissioner, one final note under this item. As you know, today is Kelly's last day at work at the agency. Been here going on 18 years now, and she has just been an incredibly valuable part of all of our success. So in her honor this morning, I have a proclamation that I would like to read into the record if it pleases the commission.
Please.
Whereas Kelly Jo Stuckey is retiring from the Texas Lottery Commission, and whereas in fulfilling the duties and tasks of the controller of the Texas Lottery Commission, Kelly drew from her extensive experience. Having served the state of Texas for more than 26 years, her previous employment with the Railroad Commission as well as the Texas Department of Human Services. She is indeed deserving of special professional and personal recognition. And whereas for 17 of those years, Kelly served as the financial operations manager and then the controller for the Texas Lottery Commission. And Kelly has provided us with valuable financial expertise to the office of the controller and to the agency. Whereas also during her tenure with the agency, the Texas Lottery experienced record-breaking sales and revenue transfers to the state. Whereas born on July 27th, raised in Austin, Texas, Kelly attended Lanier High School. She's a true Austinite. She grew up with a loving younger brother, Russell. Her parents, Linda and Carol, were the pillar of the home and Kelly's biggest supporters. Both Linda and Carol are looking down on Kelly with beaming hearts on this day. Kelly then went on to attend Concordia University in Austin, where she obtained her bachelor's degree in accounting. Whereas Kelly is the proud mother to her son, Reed, to whom she provides unconditional love, support, and guidance. Reed is making Kelly especially proud, being a successful student at Texas Tech University. Kelly's partner, Ben, is always there to hold Kelly's hand and offer her words of encouragement, love, and wit. Wit? Their two dogs, Zoe and Lila, who will be basking in Kelly's extra free time in the coming months. Whereas retirement will also provide Kelly with discretionary time to be with her friends and family, spending time at Majori's on their boat on Lake Travis, as well as traveling to Las Vegas, leaves this Saturday, Caribbean and beyond. She will also be fulfilling a lifetime goal of working part-time alongside her brother. Whereas the office of the controller team will greatly miss Kelly's expertise, her direction, her calmness, her drive, and most importantly, her friendship. Kelly leaves a big space to be filled, but we are also incredibly happy for her, and we can't wait to hear about her future adventures. Whereas Kelly will also be extremely missed by her friends and colleagues from the other departments at the Texas Lottery Commission. Be it resolved that the Texas Lottery Commission and her many friends and loving family members hereby congratulate Kelly for her retirement and extend to her sincere best wishes now and during this next chapter in her life. And be it further resolved that an official copy of this proclamation be prepared for Kelly as an expression of the high regard she is held in by the Texas Lottery Commission. In witness whereof, we have hereunto set our hands and caused the seal of the Texas Lottery Commission to be affixed here too. Done on this 17th day of August, 2023, signed Robert G. Rivera, Chairman, and Gary Grief, Executive Director. Thank you, Kelly.
You warned me you were going to make me cry, and you did. I just want to say it's been a pleasure working here with you all this 17 years. I could not imagine a better experience. And I had to write some things down because I knew I would lose my track. But, you know, I have forged some wonderful friendships, wonderful relationships with this team. And, you know, I think I said yesterday in our all staff meeting that the lottery is a one-of-a-kind place to work, and not just because of the work that we do, but because of the people that work here. So it will all be missed, and this is not goodbye, but I'll see you later.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Thank you.
Commissioners, if I could
Gary, go.
take a moment, I want to check with Kelly with something to make sure. And just this next second.
Okay, fine.
Mr. Chairman, I think for clarity on the matter that you just voted on, I have a motion. I think that for the purposes of the Legislative Budget Board, that we need to have a particular motion, and with y'all's indulgence, I hate to ask you to redo a vote. But
sure.
If y'all could read that and vote on that.
Okay.
All righty. So
So I'll move that the commission approve the operating budget for fiscal year 2024, including the approval of an annual salary rate for the executive director at the maximum amount set forth in the General Appropriations Act for the next biennium, effective September 1st, 2023.
is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, next item is the comprehensive business plan and annual report. Robert, your item.
Again, commissioners, item 8 today is the agency's 2022 annual report and the fiscal 23-24 comprehensive business plan. You have a printed copy in front of you, and I know that we sent you this document a few weeks ago in your weekly packet, soft copy. The annual report contains a summary of our achievements during last fiscal 22, and the comprehensive business plan, which conforms to the statutory requirements of the last sunset legislation, talks about what we've been working on during this current fiscal year, fiscal 23, and it looks ahead to what is planned for next fiscal 24. The comprehensive business plan contains key performance factors, as well as targets and projections for those factors. This document really is the best source of information about all lottery activities. I actually keep a printed copy on my desk year-round, and I refer to it regularly throughout the year. Producing this report and the business plan is definitely a team effort with participation from all divisions. So thanks to everyone in the agency that contributed. I would also like to extend special thanks to 3 people on my team, Angie Bland, Amy Barzelis, and Mary Mendoza. They keep the entire drafting, editing, and review process for this project on track and well organized. And it's not an overstatement to say that without them, we would never get this project completed. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. And just a reminder, this item does require board approval.
Commissioners, any comments? Is there a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion.
Second, is there a second? A second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, sir.
Next item is the lottery courier rider, Article 9, Section 17.36 of the General Appropriations Act. Gary, do you have some opening comments?
Yes, sir, I do. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You may recall in the June commission meeting, you heard from Nelda in her legislative session report about the rider that was placed in Article 9 of House Bill 1, the Appropriations Act, regarding lottery couriers. You were also informed about the proclamation issued by the governor that included statements regarding the constitutionality of that rider. Also in that June meeting, our general counsel, Bob Beard, addressed the topic of third-party lottery couriers. 2 key points that Bob made on the record. One, as the statute is silent regarding third-party lottery courier services and the activity related to these services is not contemplated in current law, TLC has no jurisdiction or licensing authority over the activity. And 2, the TLC has never proposed or adopted administrative rules condoning or prohibiting this activity. In your commission meeting notebooks today, we have included the rider related to lottery couriers in Article 9 of the Appropriations Act, that section from the Senate Journal, which lays out the legislative intent of the rider, and the governor's proclamation. Mr. Chairman, as House Bill 1 takes effect September 1st of this year, today I'm seeking direction from the commission on the lottery courier matter.
Okay. Bob, are there any public speakers?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Commissioners, after the commissioners, Gary, thank you for your comments. This agency is mindful and respectful of the policy direction that has been provided by the legislature, and it is also respectful of the related statements Governor Abbott provided in his proclamation. Based on the latest official action taken, the commission directs the executive director to take no action on the rider and to highlight the lottery courier issue during the agency's sunset review process for the Sunset Commission to consider. Are there any questions or comments? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to the next agenda item. The report on the agency's sunset review process. Ryan, this is your item.
Thank you, Chairman. Commissioners, again, for the record, my name is Ryan Mendel, Deputy Executive Director. And as I laid out in my June update, the agency has now started the process of sunset review, the first step being a self-evaluation report from the agency. This report, known as the SER, gives the agency an opportunity to provide an overview of our entire organization and operations to the Sunset Commission and its staff. We also have the ability to identify problems, opportunities, and issues that the agency would like the Sunset Commission to review during that process. I did want to specifically note that the sole major issue that the agency has identified in its SER is the courier issue you just discussed. I provided the draft SER to each of you. The main document in draft form is over 130 pages, but we'll be supplementing that document with numerous attachments, like the business plan you just gave Robert approval on, as well as other agency documents from over the past decade. The draft SER will be finalized before a deadline at the end of this month, with potential edits focused on clarity and formatting. You will be provided the final formatted copy after it's submitted. As with the business plan, this document was a massive undertaking over a very short time frame. Staff across the agency contributed to this document, often with tight turnarounds and while still completing all of their regular work. I'd like to give special thanks to Myra Zamora, who each of you is familiar with. She did a great job helping track all the moving pieces and keeping everything running along smoothly. Of course, our ultimate goal with the sunset process is to see a bill passed in the next legislative session that will continue our agency. This self-evaluation report is only a first step, but it is a good first step towards that goal. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about the draft SER or anything else about the sunset process. Seeking your approval this morning to submit to the Sunset Commission by September 1st. That is the SER with the additional edits and supplemental attachments that we will add to the draft. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Commissioners, any discussion? Okay. Is there a motion to submit the report?
Make a motion.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Again. Next item is the internal auditor's report. Darlene, this is your item.
For the record, my name is Darlene Brown, and I am your internal auditor. Your notebook contains the fiscal year 23 internal audit plan status. We completed the Jackson estimation system audit, and we concluded that once again, the internal controls are effective, and we've identified some best practice processes in that area. Additionally, we've also started a risk assessment to develop the fiscal year 24 annual internal audit plan. And we'll bring both the annual internal audit report for fiscal 23 and the annual 24 audit plan to you in October for approval. In the meantime, we will begin ticket warehouse operations and ticket destruction audit, which then will be followed by the claims payment process audit. That concludes my report for today, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Commissioners, any discussions? Okay, Darlene, thank you very much. Good job.
Thank you, Darlene.
Next item is a bingo director's report. LaDonna, it's your item.
Good morning, Commissioners. Record, LaDonna Castanuela, Director of Charitable Bingo Operations Division. In your notebooks, you have the reports from the division of the output metrics for June and July of this year. That's all I have to report today. If you have any questions, I'm available.
Commissioners, any comments, questions, Cindy?
Nothing more to add.
Okay, thank you. Next item is from our Executive Director, Gary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Other than what's in your notebooks, I only wanted to follow up on the sales report that you heard earlier today from Kelly and Will. Sure, my microphone's on. When we close our books on the fiscal year at the end of this month, just in a couple of weeks, this will be the first year in our history that we will shatter the $2 billion mark for annual contributions to public education and veteran services. In addition, we will have broken our all-time lottery sales record for the 13th consecutive year. Now, to my knowledge, I'm unaware of any other lottery in the country that has achieved that accomplishment. And that makes me incredibly proud of our lottery team. And when I refer to our team, I'm talking about our own staff, our partners over at IGT Texas, our many other vendor partners, some of who are in the audience today, who contribute to our success each day, the more than 20,000 retailer locations across the state who help market and sell our products every day, and our commissioners. Because without your support and your encouragement for our innovations and our industry-changing initiatives, it just wouldn't have been possible. Our commissioners know as well as anyone the talent that we have in our agency and how fortunate we are. And I'm just extremely thankful to be part of an organization where the people take such great pride in their jobs every single day. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, good job. Commissioners, any comments? Well, Gary, definitely quite a monumental achievement, several that you listed out, and you're absolutely correct. And all of our commissioners are incredibly grateful for your leadership and every employee that we have. So $2 billion is definitely quite an achievement, and it's something that you should be proud of in terms of the work that you bring to the table. And without your individual efforts, none of that would occur. So on behalf of all of our commissioners, we're grateful for your dedication to the Texas Lottery. Thank you. Thank you, Gary. Okay, next item is our enforcement cases. Bob.
Commissioners, Bob Beard, General Counsel. Item 14 contains 6 lottery cases. Tabs A through F. I usually give a slightly longer presentation, but today tabs A through F are all non-sufficient fund lottery retailer license revocations. These are cases that are presented at the State Office of Administrative Hearings for revocation of the retailer license because the licensee failed to have sufficient funds in their bank account to cover electronic fund transfers to the commission's account. In each case, the licensee failed to appear and the judge remanded the case to the commission to handle this default matter. So these are cases that are handled in a single order. You can take them up in a single vote if you like. That concludes my presentation.
Okay, thank you, Bob. Is there a motion?
I move to take up to approve these orders in bulk, A through F.
A second. Is there a second? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. Good job. Motion passes. Bob, is there anything else?
There are no other requests for public comment, so I believe that takes us through the agenda.
Okay, commissioners, any final thoughts, comments? All right, with that, we are adjourned.